The chipped ceramic mug warmed my hands, the coffee doing little to soothe the knot in my stomach. The steam curled upwards, carrying a faint aroma of hazelnut and regret. Across from me sat Liam, his expression a careful mask of polite neutrality. It had been 6 months since our falling out, a stupid argument about something insignificant that ballooned into weeks of silence and then, nothing. We'd been inseparable since kindergarten. Shared secrets whispered on the playground swings, scraped knees bandaged with cartoon-themed adhesive strips, terrible haircuts endured with mutual embarrassment. Now, just this awkward distance, stretching between us like a chasm. I felt overwhelmingly responsible, my words, sharp and defensive back then, fueled by exhaustion and misplaced pride, echoed in my head, each syllable a tiny hammer blow against the foundation of our friendship. The cafe buzzed around us, oblivious to the weight of unspoken history hanging in the air. The clatter of ceramic mugs, the hiss of the espresso machine, the murmur of conversations, it all felt distant, muffled by the anxiety churning within me. I'd asked for this meeting, a desperate attempt to mend what felt irrevocably broken. A foolish hope, perhaps. But the words wouldn't come. Fear choked me, fear of rejection, fear of dredging up old hurts and realizing the damage was irreparable, fear that he'd seen something in me I couldn't face myself. My palms were sweating, leaving damp prints on the worn tabletop. I closed my eyes briefly, a silent plea forming, help me say what needs saying. Please, just let me find the right words. A simple request. No grand pronouncements, no dramatic declarations of undying friendship, just guidance. A lifeline thrown across the divide. The scent of cinnamon from a nearby pastry case momentarily distracted me. I inhaled deeply, trying to ground myself in the present moment. When I opened my eyes, Liam was watching me with an unreadable expression. His gaze felt intense, probing, as if he were searching for something hidden beneath the surface. So, he started hesitantly, his voice a low rumble that barely carried over the cafe's background noise. I took a deep breath and began, choosing each word deliberately, weighing their potential impact. I'm sorry, Liam. Really sorry. For how I spoke to you back then. It wasn't fair, and it wasn't kind. The words felt clumsy, inadequate, like trying to capture the vastness of the ocean in a teacup, but they were honest. They were all I had. The silence that followed was thick with anticipation. I braced myself for defensiveness, for anger, for anything other than what came next, nothing. Just listening. A memory surfaced, a conversation we had years ago about understanding different perspectives. We'd been arguing over which superhero was better, Superman or Batman, and somehow the discussion spiraled into a broader philosophical debate about empathy and seeing the world through another person's eyes. Something about walking in another person's shoes, truly understanding their motivations and struggles. It wasn't a specific quote, just the essence of it, resonating with unexpected clarity now, years later. I think I was so focused on being right, that I completely missed seeing things from your point of view, I continued, my voice gaining strength, fueled by a fragile hope. And that's not okay. It wasn't about winning an argument, it was about respecting you. The memory brought a faint smile to my lips, 2 10-year-olds passionately debating the merits of fictional characters. The cafe music shifted to a slower, more melancholic tune. I wondered if Liam was thinking about those same memories. Liam's face softened slightly, the rigid lines around his mouth relaxing just a fraction. He reached across the table and gently touched my hand, a simple gesture, but it felt like an earthquake shifting the tectonic plates of our relationship. His fingers were warm against mine. I was pretty hurt too, he admitted quietly, his voice barely above a whisper. It wasn't just your words, it was the silence that followed. The feeling that we weren't friends anymore. He looked down at our hands, then back up at me, his eyes filled with a vulnerability I hadn't seen in years. A wave of relief washed over me, so profound it almost brought tears to my eyes. The knot in my stomach loosened its grip, replaced by a tentative warmth. It wasn't a magical fix, the past couldn't be erased, and apologies wouldn't undo the hurt we had caused each other. But it was a start. A fragile bridge built on vulnerability and honesty, spanning the chasm of silence that had separated us for so long. We talked for another hour, slowly retracing steps, acknowledging missteps, my defensiveness, his withdrawal, and tentatively rebuilding trust, brick by painstaking brick. The coffee had grown cold, a bitter reminder of the time that had passed, but the space between us felt warmer than it had in months. The cafe began to empty as evening approached. It wasn't everything we once were, not yet, but it was something new. Something hopeful. A second chance.